You can find the apprenticeship attendance dashboard on the source. Either type go.shu.ac.uk/the source into a web browser, or you can click the link at the bottom of the staff homepage. When the source homepage is loaded, you click on either the University Performance or the student icons at the top of the screen. Access to the dashboard is restricted. If you can't access it, please contact us by clicking the envelope icon on the top right hand corner, or email the SPI Insight Requests mailbox. Click on the icon labelled Apprenticeship Attendance to launch the dashboard. The dashboard is organised into 4 tabs across the top of the screen. The header panel shows the date that the dashboard and the data were last updated, and there are 2 buttons that contain useful information about the reports. The Context button outlines the purpose and audience of the dashboard, key contacts, and the schedule with which it's updated. The Data Definitions outline the sources of data and explain some of the terminology used in the reports. The content in the page is divided by pale blue headers, and on some tabs you will need to scroll down to view the next section of the report. In addition, some sections contain tables or charts where you may need to scroll as well to view all the content. On each tab there are filters and drop-down menus that allow you to change the data displayed, such as the academic year or the period that registers are recorded. The core data on the dashboard comes from registers created on the JISC Data Explorer system. Please be aware the data for each register is sent to us once overnight by JISC. If the attendance details on a register are changed on a subsequent day, those changes won't be reported on the dashboard. That data is combined with student records from the SITS system and details from the MATAS system so that we can report by event, student, or summarise by date, department, course, module, or apprenticeship standard. The key metrics that are used in a dashboard are registers taken, students required, and an attendance rate. The registers taken is a count of the separate registers set up on Data Explorer. The students required is a count of the students who appear on the registers with their attendance as either attended or not attended. Any students recorded as not required are not counted. The attendance rate is then the number marked as attended divided by the number of students required. The first tables and chart show a summary of the metrics by college and by department. If you scroll down, you can see the same data summarised by apprenticeship standard. In the bottom section, you can explore the registers in more detail. You can filter down to smaller groups like department, course and standard. And by default, the data in the table is shown by course, but you can change that as well. The bar charts on the right hand side show the attendance rates at specific activity dates, and the lower chart shows the number of students required and the numbers of registers taken. So for example, if you wanted to investigate the attendance rate of a particular course, You could filter by that course. And then you can change the level of detail you display to be specific events. So you can look where the attendance was low on particular occasions. So in this example, you can see a larger requirement of students on one day for which there are no attendance registers. This contributes to the overall attendance rating. The Student Timeline tab shows the attendance history and rate of individual students. Again, you can filter by course and course year to identify a group of students, or use the student name filter to identify an individual. By default, it only shows the currently enrolled students when the dashboard loads up, but you can change this. For this demo, the student name and student code details are obscured. The small coloured icons show the attendance of the student in date order from left to right. The green tick indicates where they attended, and the red cross where they didn't. You can also change the No Records filter. This will show where students have no attendance records on the registers at all. It appears as a grey circle. This tab shows a summary of the courses and students that are not covered by registers during the reporting period. The students who never appear on registers do not impact on the attendance rate calculations, but they may indicate issues with the accuracy of the Data Explorer system or the SITS records, and should be investigated where students aren't covered. Students not appearing on registers might not necessarily be a problem. Students could be enrolled, but their activities have not yet taken place. This dashboard shows a list of courses. If there are no registers for a course, it will contain a 1 over in the right-hand column. The figures in the central column show the number of students who are on the SITS system but who haven't appeared on the registers. If there are registers for all students on a course, then the course won't appear on the list. If you click on a course to see it, you can see a list of students lower down the screen. Again, the student names and codes have been obscured for the purpose of this demo. The final tab explores the relationship between timetabled activities and the attendance registers. Unfortunately, there's no direct link currently between the timetabling system and the GIST Data Explorer system, so we cannot easily relate registers to the timetabled activities. This tab is purely for reference to help you investigate whether timetable teaching is being captured on attendance registers. There may be disparities between the number of activities on a timetable and the number on a register. Some activities may not require registers, and some may be split into multiple registers, or vice versa. The top table shows a summary by department. You can use the drop-down to change this again to either a course or a standard. It shows the number of scheduled activities for apprenticeship courses from the timetabling system compared to the number of registers taken in the same period. And on the right-hand side of the table, it shows the number of students attached to those timetable activities compared to the numbers required on the registers. The percentages are an indicator of the coverage of the timetabled activities, but they're not an accurate reflection. If you select a row, it will filter the chart and the table below. The bar chart shows the number of timetabled activities and the registers taken by day. The timetabled activities are in pale blue and the registers in orange. Hover over the bars and you'll see a summary of the date and the numbers of activities and registers. The details of that are shown in the table below. and the coloured icons again represent the timetable or the register. You can see where events might relate to each other from the descriptions. The numbers indicate the students involved.